take 2-3 minutes if you don't mind, and I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes, just so we don't go over, but, if you don't mind, just a little bit of background and, 2-3 minutes, and then
Sure.
we can get started with some questions.
Okay, well, I'm originally from East Tennessee. I guess, well, technically, I was born in Saigon, as many of y'all know already here. So I was there like 30 days, if that. I lived there. So, but actually, I grew up in East Tennessee, Upper East Tennessee, the Tri-Cities area, Johnson City. I went to the University of Tennessee, Regional University College of Law. I served in the state legislature for about 4 years. I was in private practice in East Tennessee for 15 years, where I did administrative law, criminal law, civil law, federal law, state, but all that. I've been a judge now for 7 years, administrative law judge, where I've handled mostly property tax appeals, TNCare pharmaceutical appeals, seizure hearings, all state board commissions I've presided over those hearings. So I'm pretty well-rounded legal career. My wife is a nurse. She was at Vanderbilt for a while. Now she's a travel nurse out in California currently. I have 4 kids. One lives in Hendersonville with me here. Works at Carrabba's here. My 2 boys are at East Tennessee State University in Johnson City, and my youngest daughter is at Station Camp High School. So,
Good deal.
okay.
All right, Craig, you want to knock us off with the first question?
All right. Okay, you're just gonna read them off, because we're just gonna go
Yeah,
over it,
okay. Just one at a time.
Are you aware or prepared for the meetings outside regular business hours? You plan on making most of these meetings yourself or sending a representative from the office?
I plan to read myself, and I'm aware. Like I said, I've got several friends who are county attorneys throughout East Tennessee anyway, so I know what they go through. They're friends of mine where they bounce ideas off each other. But so I know what I think the job entails here as far as that. I'm absolutely. I wouldn't accept the job if I wouldn't be willing to come here outside of hours and attend all the meetings that I need to be on behalf of the commission.
Jimmy will keep you out late sometimes.
Not me.
Keep you up late.
Question 2?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Question 2, what is your primary incentive to begin this new career path as the Sumner County Law Director?
I think I'm just looking for a new challenge here. Like I said, I've been a judge for 7 years now, and I've enjoyed the work here, but I think I'm at the ceiling here, and I guess I'm one of these people that like to have, I'd like to, take new challenges and try to just broaden something I haven't done before. I've been in private practice. I've had murder trials and all these, messy divorces. Administrative law judge, all types of cases in the state, as far as state regulatory appeals. And this is something I haven't done for it. I feel like I'd be a good fit with a new commission coming on here. I think with my wide range of legal experience here, I can be a benefit to the commission.
What is your opinion on placing a moratorium on high-density residential building permits in the county if the county is unable to afford building new schools without a tax increase?
Honestly, I don't think I really have that strong opinion either way, because I've not really studied the issue very much here, and if I don't have all the facts before me here, I hate to venture some kind of opinion on something I'm not as that I don't have all the information about here. I think that as the commission here, you all are the ones that ultimately make that decision, I believe, here, and I can advise you legally to what you can and cannot do with regard to any kind of legislation regarding a moratorium. But I don't think it's my position there to try to influence you all, because you're the people's elected officials here, not me. I'm just here to provide you legal advice here, and ultimately I think that's the decision to be left up to the legislature.
Felt the decision should be left up to the legislator?
Yes. As a former legislator myself here, I understand the separation of powers here, and I understand the role of the judiciary and the role of the executive and legislature, and I believe that's something that should be up to the legislature.
So Shannon skipped around. Shannon, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's what I got.
You got to know the second question.
She just want to be different.
Swap those when I guess you got a little bit. So just, yeah.
1, 2, 6.
You got a different PDF.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I
You
do.
said you could print it off yourself, so I sent it to you. So
Oh,
my
no,
bad.
no. Okay, all
I'll give you-
right.
No, that's okay. So I'll go with the next question. I'll go back to the first page, guys, and so it'll be your second page.
You just start the
All right.
question off.
This is one that I've asked before, we had a chance to talk about, what is your opinion on the county mayor's or the county commission's authority to enact or enforce mask mandates in public?
I think that is something to be up to the county legislative body here, I believe they need to pass that ordinance. I believe that should be where it be decided from. Again, I don't think that I think it's been done in the past. Some mayors have tried to get a letter too, and to do that. I don't think any court has, I don't know if they were ever challenged in court. I've not heard of that, if they have been. But my personal opinion is that this should be done by the legislative body, should make that kind of proposal and mandate and pass it.
So you don't feel that necessarily the county mayor has that authority to do that, or you think the county legislative body has that authority, or?
I've not seen anything in statute that's unilateral gives the county mayor that kind of authority to pass a wide scope mandate like that under any kind of health emergency. I mean, there could be one. I'm just not familiar with one, but I believe it would be firmer legal standing if done by the legislature would do it.
The state legislature, not the county.
No, county commission.
County
Yeah,
commission.
for the county, if you're doing it for the
It's county legislative
countywide.
body. Yeah, right,
Yes,
right.
county legislative body, excuse me. Yes.
So, but you do feel that the county commission would have the authority to enact or enforce a mass mandated public duty?
I think they do, yes, here.
Now, I guess what would be that authority from the Constitution or the emergency power statute?
I think
Where
there's
do you
probably
think that-
something, a mercy power statute. I'm not sure anything the Constitution lets them, but I think that there are mercy powers for, I think, for various health reasons here, if they feel it's necessary.
All right, any other follow-up questions of that?
Going number 4.
Yeah.
What experience do you have of governmental meeting procedures and protocols? And you spoke a little bit before, you have some.
Yes, well, you know, I'm a former member of the state legislature, so I've served on the judicial committee there. I was on the transportation committee, children and family affairs committee here. I served as vice chairman on special ad hoc committee on DUI legislation. So I definitely, you know, I've served on committees before like that here. And also, as you look at my resume here, I've served as a legal advisor to several nonprofits, including the Tennessee Abortion Alternatives and the Women's Clinic in Carter County, the Shepherd's Inn, which is a battered women's house. I serve on our board as a legal advisor also. I also serve legal advisor for the Sycamore Shoal State Historical Association. So I've advised several boards.
I'm going to skip to number 8. What is your opinion on the sheriff's authority to enact or ignore red flag laws passed by the state legislature?
We had discussion before here, and I guess as a judge, current judge and former state legislator here, I'm not comfortable with the sheriff ignoring a duly enacted legislative law signed by either county mayor, governor, secretary, or passed by the legislature over a veto. That's not his job. The sheriff's doing it there to enforce the law. And I mean, he's not there to pick and choose which laws he thinks is right. I mean, I may agree with him that it's a bad law, and I wish it wasn't there. But we just can't have sheriffs ignoring what laws they want here. They're there to protect the public here. If the legislative body passed a law thing that was in the best interest of the public here, the sheriff should be enforcing it. If he doesn't like it, go run against go run for legislature if he doesn't like it.
So, on red flag laws, do you feel that red flag laws are constitutional?
As far as I know, I think they are right now here. I don't think we've had any contradictions otherwise here. You know, I think any law passed by legislature is presumed to be constitutional until it's struck down by a court. And to my knowledge, I don't think red flag laws have been struck down. So I think there's presumption that it is constitutional at this point.
Oh, it's my turn, sorry.
Question 5 was on your submitted, I think.
Where do you want to go next?
You submitted that
Okay.
one, I think, before, right?
In your current practice, I know it's on here, I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
stapled backward. Who has done your primary research? And this position being so multidisciplinary, how do you see that aspect of your work being accomplished well?
I do a lot of my own research right now here, but we do have, like I said, we have a couple of paralegals at our main office in Nashville, and we have some interns come in and out there. But mostly, I do my own research.
Okay.
What's
Is
the
it-
what's the second part of that question? I'm sorry.
Well, how do you see that aspect of work being accomplished well? Here, you're gonna have a limited staff, so,
Well, like I said, that wouldn't be a problem with me here. Like I said, I do a lot of my own research anyway here, and plus, when I did practice law, I had a small law office also here, so we only had a paralegal sometimes and a full-time secretary. So I did a lot of my own research anyway, so that's nothing new for me.
okay, all right.
All right, question, I'll ask, I'm gonna skip to question number 9. With the recent COVID pandemic, do you believe that the governor acted within his powers under the state constitution to close public access to businesses he deemed non-essential?
Personally, I did not like the decision at all here, but then I just have to go back again to that. Apparently, I don't think it was ever challenged by anyone, so there's presumption what he was doing was valid. We can dislike a bunch of laws here, but until it's that have been passed or actions taken by the executive branch here, but until they're actually challenged by someone and had a court rules on it here, then there's presumption that what they did was valid. So I don't like it personally what he did here. I don't think it was right what he did. I don't like this picking and choosing what business he believes is essential and what's not. It's frustrating to me when I see all this, during the pandemic, when I go to Home Depot or Lowe's and Walmart, they were all open here, but the small business stores in downtown couldn't open up here, which I thought was just totally unfair and not the way you do things. But
So you would believe, I guess right now, that the governor did act within his powers under the state constitution in doing that it allowed him to do that?
well, just looking at it, it looks like he did, right? Like I said, I think there was certainly people that didn't like it, but no one ever come forward with a challenge, a legitimate challenge to that, to his actions. So I think we have to presume it was constitutional what he did until we hear otherwise.
What would you have considered to have been a legitimate action, a legitimate reason for it being a wrong?
Well, I mean, he went on. I guess he went on. His healthcare experts in the state would told him saying they need to do this here. But I think I'm not sure what the rationale was. Honest with you, how you can say one business can be open that does the same thing as the other business here, just because I guess maybe because the big ones have social distance more. I guess in the larger stores here than the smaller ones here, but. I really just don't think that's a legitimate reason for what he did here, and I'm quite shocked no one actually did challenge him. It was really surprising here, because I think they might have had a good, strong case to overturn the action of the governor.
If someone here or if someone at the county level had challenged him, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I think if a business owner would have challenged, I think
Oh,
a business owner would have
okay.
challenged here, that was
Okay.
forced to shut down. I think they wouldn't have had a legitimate case to make.
Right.
Craig?
All right, in any instance when it is expedient and legal to do anything just because you can, does it mean you should? Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to read that again?
Please,
Okay, yeah.
that's sort of, I'm trying to,
In any instance when it is expedient and legal to do anything, just because you can, does it mean you should?
I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So, just because it's
Yes,
legal to
question
do
one.
something,
When we spoke with you, that was one of Deborah's questions. Just because you can, does it mean that you should?
well, I guess it's just the circumstances here. What are we talking about? I guess is that's a pretty broad question here. I guess it depends on we're talking about some kind of policy initiative or proposed law. I guess
She was speaking specifically to private property
private property.
or
Okay,
condemnation of private
a condemnation here.
property, yes.
Yes, I mean, also with specific condemnation here, I think that should be used sparingly and as a last resort. Definitely as a last resort here. I'm personally not a huge fan of condemnation here, but obviously I recognize that, the government's authority to do that. And when it's necessary, I mean, of course, it's a necessary evil you have to use sometimes here, but it should definitely be a last resort. And I would hope they would explore all the different alternative avenues to before taking that sort of action.
Mark, did you have a question?
I did, and I actually just thought about this as I was driving down this afternoon, so I apologize for not emailing it, but I didn't want to do that while I was driving. In your private practice, did you ever have an experience where you had a client that you gave your advice, your counsel, and they just ignored it? And if so, or chose to go a different path, how would you handle that? Let's say that you gave counsel to the commission, and the commission just completely went in a polar opposite direction. How do you handle that?
I would basically, that's your prerogative to do that here. I can only give the best advice I can here. I mean, and I'm not presumptuous to think that what I tell you is going to be right 100% of the time here. I mean, I could be wrong. I could misread the situation here. But ultimately, it's your job to make the best decision based on all the information that you get. And then when you make that decision here, then I will do my best to, guide you from there as county attorney. But I'm not here to tell you all what to do as county attorney here. I can only give you what I think is the legal path to go on the best information that I can give you, and you'll make up your own decision from there.
I have just an extra question. Do you see the role of the law director being anything else than advisory to county boards and committees?
I think that's the main function here, is to advise you all here. I'm not here to, tell you what you should do. We can only give you the best legal advice we can, or I can. Obviously, if there's something else you feel that I need to do, I will certainly consider that. This is coming from you, basically, because you're ultimately the county mayor and the county commissioner is ultimately the boss of the law director. So, I mean, anything that you ask us to do here, we certainly need to do everything we can to comply with that.
Any other questions?
Just in general, do you think there's anything I ask, or you think we should know about you that would help in making this decision?
No, I just asked you, you've got my resume, you've talked to me before, I think most of you have known me for a couple of years here outside of this. I think you know that I'm pretty straightforward. I try to shoot straight with anyone I talk to, and I think I've just got my experience I think is unique compared to other candidates here as far as my background is, being in the legislature, being a judge, private practice law, just a wide range of experience here I think will be a benefit to the commission.
Anything?
Okay.
Anything else, Shane? All right, well, I think we're getting done.
Well, that was quick here.
Yeah, we got done early, so.
Well, you're still plenty of time, at least that.
So,
I guess if I was billing you, I'd talk a little longer if I was billing you, but I guess it's, so.
there we go.
Stretched it out.
Yeah, so.
I think it's fine. So,
You're billing.
well, we will have to stop after this session.